So it is October and I am going to show you guys how I decorated for Halloween this year. It's almost similar as last year just because I told myself last year that I'm not going to buy a single decoration for Halloween, and I'm actually doing the same thing this year just because I have so many Halloween decorations that I don't really need no more. So it's almost as similar of how I decorated last year. There's a few things different, but a lot of you guys probably weren't here for last year's video or even seen the video. So we're just going to do a new fresh video this year and go around the living room, and I'm going to show you how I decorated my buffet and my hutch and my pie safe. And then we're going to come out here on the front porch and I'll show you what I did this year. And then our family tradition every year is to go down at the entrance of our driveway, and we always put up a scarecrow as a family. So that was really fun the other day. We actually finally got that done. Usually I get that done in the beginning of October, but I think it's now the second week of October that we finally got that up. So excited to do that. And we actually grew this corn this year for our corn stalks. So very happy that I saved money this year. Didn't have to buy any corn stalks from any store. So it's really cute down there. So stay tuned to the very end of the video so you guys can see the scarecrow that we always put up. So I'm going to take you guys inside and we're going to start with the buffet and see what I did on top of there. I got my Halloween slippers on, so I'm going to give you guys the tour in comfort. Okay, so looking up here, I have this old buffet and I kind of mimic what my grandmother has. So she has this old buffet in her house and I always wanted one. This is actually my second one. I actually had a bigger one a couple years ago in our different house and I ended up selling it because it was huge. It was beautiful, but it was just too big for this house. So eventually I found this at a yard sale really cheap, which it's not in perfect condition. There's still some things that I have to fix, like this right here. And if you get up close, you could see all the imperfections on this buffet. But you know what? I love this thing. Maybe one day I'll find a professional to redo all of it. But for now, I just absolutely love this piece of furniture. It reminds me of my grandma. And the funny thing is, what I store in here is almost exactly the same as what she does. She puts all her, whenever people come over, she puts all of her like paper goods, like her plates and cups and utensils and stuff in one side. Her tablecloths are in the drawers. Just, you know, stuff like that. So my grandma really has kind of rubbed off on me a little bit. But looking up on here on the buffet, I know I have some backlighting right here, but this is basically the only position that I have to put this buffet right here because we don't have a true dining room. Our dining room actually is in our kitchen and it's really cramped packed in there. So I have to keep my buffet and my hutch into my living room until one day we add on to our house. So looking up here on the buffet, I took these plastic pumpkins. Now I didn't buy these all at one time. These actually took me a couple years to gather up at thrift stores. I got some at Walmart and antique stores. So these actually used to be those just plain, just really bright orange pumpkins. And I took some dark brown paint and aged all of these pumpkins. I actually had a picture on Pinterest one time that there was like these really big, I think they're from Pottery Barn. They were like these ceramic pumpkins on top of a buffet styled. And I kind of just went off that, but I just kind of made it my own. So I just ended up painting these really dark brown and just kind of aged them to look more antique. And then, I don't know if you can see inside, but there's like candles in there that I have lit up. So at night, this actually lights up pretty well. And then I took a lot of this leaves, fake leaves that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I just kind of stashed them in here everywhere I could. And what's really cool is that same grandmother actually made this tablecloth. So I kind of just folded it up and put it on top. And then I tea-dyed some of this spider web looking stuff. I tea-dyed one of them and then the other one is black. And I kind of just layered them on top of each other. And then, of course, you know, we are big deer hunters, so we collect a bunch of antlers. I just stashed some deer antlers all through here. And then I put some battery-operated orange lights through here. And then, of course, I have more of the orangey yellow leaves in the very back to kind of give it that pop of color. And I got those from Hobby Lobby. So what I did differently this year, instead of putting my Halloween lights up on the outside, I actually just put my outdoor lights on the inside of the window and just hooked them up here on my curtain rod and just strung them up. And it's actually just really cozy at night whenever it's lit up. So, and it's a lot easier. I can just come over here and literally unplug it from the wall and I can just go to bed instead of going outside, which we do have a timer for Christmas lights, so I could probably use that. So this year, I just don't have to work so hard. I just literally just put the lights in here on the window. And then the same as my kitchen, I have lights in there as well too, because we have the same type of window on the other side of the front of our house, so they kind of just match each other, so it glows up orange at night. And you can actually see that down our driveway. That's the end of the road down there. I don't know if you guys can see. That's the end, way down there is the end of our driveway, and you actually can see the lights glowing out of these windows. So it works really well. So looking down over here, this is what I was talking about. So this can actually be for fall or Halloween, Thanksgiving. I got this the other day. This is like a wood little bowl that you could actually put potpourri in, or I just put this little battery operated candle light with this little wreath right here, and I just set this down in here, and I literally just bought it the other day, so I just kind of just set it here. I'm going to use it for my Thanksgiving decor. So looking over here at the other side of the TV, I took some branches from Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago. They just look like dead branches. So I taped up my bats inside of there, and then put some of my antlers to kind of go with my buffet. And then I have these farmhouse fabric pumpkins that I got at Walmart a couple years ago, and just kind of just placed them here. And then I made this candle holder a couple years ago. I tea-dyed it. So nothing too fancy right here by the TV, but this is kind of what it looks like. And then looking over here, I had my Halloween quilts up here, which they're unfinished. I still need to quilt them, so I honestly just put them away for now. And then over here, I have this old antique lamp that I got at an antique store. I just ended up putting some of this spider web fabric stuff on here, and then placed two little spiders up in there. Something different, something fun. And then same down here, I have the exact same, it's supposed to be like a candle holder I tea-dyed, and I just placed it underneath my lamp here. And then this is an old antique table. I honestly need to refinish it because there's some water stains from cups and everything. I would like to stain it just like a little bit more of a richer, darker brown color to match the other furniture. I also like to put in some of my kids' Halloween books, so at night we can read some books at night. This isn't all of them. I haven't found all of them just yet. They're up in my daughter's closet. I just need to go through all of them and try to find all of the Halloween books. But I do like to place a bunch of holiday books here. All right, so coming over here above our main couch, I got this sign at Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago. I absolutely love it. It's actually a really good size sign. And I just took a bunch of floral that I've had through the years and stuck them together and put them into these wall planters. They actually really look really good for just throwing together every year. I got some sunflowers and all kinds of stuff in there. And then over here, I actually made this burlap pumpkin sack. And I just set him here on my milk can. This milk can's actually from my grandpa after he passed away. My grandmother gave me this milk can that they had, so it's really special to me. So I just placed my burlap pumpkin that I made a couple years ago. I used to be really into crafts, and I used to do craft shows, and this is actually something that I made for myself, and I kept it. And then of course I got that at Walmart, I think last year. And I actually made one of these pumpkins a couple years ago. And it's made out of fabric, painted. And I just set it here on one of my baskets, my picnic basket with some antlers. I just set this kind of right down in here for like a really rustic-y look. So looking over here, I got all of my crock bowls here placed because I ran out of room because we've been canning so much food this year that I had to pull all of these crock bowls out of where I stash all of my canning stuff now. So I just placed them here for now. And then up here, this kind of looks like the same as last year, but not really. The only thing different really is I added this garland right here of fabric. I actually used to use this in my craft booths whenever I used to sell crafts. And it's just a bunch of fabric that I cut up and strung up on a string. It's really heavy and thick. So I just placed it up here this year, just kind of gives it more of a fuller look instead of using a lot of the leaves that I usually use. But looking up close here, a lot of this stuff actually comes from antique stores. I love going antiquing. Some of it's from Walmart, and a lot of the stuff, I do the same thing what I did with my plastic pumpkins. I take my brown paint and age my ceramic stuff to make it look more old and antique looking. So I did that on a bunch of this stuff already. So I got like a cookie jar here, another little cookie jar, and then just some ceramics. And I put some candle lights inside of some of these pumpkins. And I kind of did the same thing what I did on my buffet, is I put some leaves down, some antlers. I put some antlers through here. These are really small antlers that we've collected over the years. And then some battery operated lights. And then on the very back, I layered up some leaves on the back side. Then same with the top up here. I took a lot of the ceramic stuff and still, aged it. I like to collect a lot of these pumpkins that people actually handmade back in the 70s. I have a few pieces of those. And then I found actually this fabric pumpkin at a garage sale one year. It was like $2. And there's another cookie jar and a ghost candle. Same thing up here. I have all of my leaves displayed in the very back, so it kind of just gives it that full look whenever you're looking straight on into it. And then of course I have this little area here. I put a pumpkin behind here, my little scarecrow that I've had for years and years and years, and just placed some fabric pumpkins inside of there. So looking over here, this is actually my favorite piece that I have, just because it has been passed down since my great-great-grandma and grandpa. They actually owned this. This was their pie safe. This sat on the back of their farmhouse for a really long time. And I get the privilege to own this piece of furniture. I absolutely love it. The color and everything. Let me just zoom up really closely so you guys can get the full effect. It's a rough texture. It's like a yellowish color, but it's like aged really pretty and just really old looking. I just love it. But looking up here, I have these galvanized pumpkins that I found really cheap. Pottery Barn actually had this really big one that I wanted, but I really didn't want to pay the full price for it. But I'm so glad I actually found these really cheap. And I ended up just putting this berry garland that has like these really rusty stars. And I think they have some pumpkins on here somewhere. These like pumpkin looking berries. And I just set this up here in front of here. I took some outdoor orange Halloween lights and just strung them through the pumpkin, and it lights up at night. It's so cozy whenever this is on at night. Let me back up and show you guys. So you guys can see there, it really lights up this corner. So that's my best piece of furniture right there. Love it. So last year, I actually showed this in one of my Halloween decorating videos, and I actually made these Halloween sacks for my kids as trick-or-treat bags. There's 4 of them because I have 4 kids, and I've always debated whether to put their names on these, which I'm not sure if I should or not, but I'm so proud of this. So this is like the outside of it. It's so cute. It's such a vintage look fabric, and then on the inside, it's like perfect. It's like the candy fabric, and I sewed this all together. So my kids absolutely love these. It's like the perfect size. They're kind of like a skinny and not too big. It's like perfect to put all the candy in, and it's easy for them to carry. So I'm so proud of that I made this. My kids absolutely love them. I love them. I'm so happy that I get to do that for them, and they can have these for the rest of their life. So coming outside on the front porch, it's a little windy out here. The wind chime's a little loud, so I'll try to work quickly through this, but I'm going to turn you guys around so we can see. So I actually made this 3 years ago, and it's still holding up. It's actually made from some corn stalks, and I just use it every year. I stash it into my garage to store it, and every year so far it's actually held up really well, so I just reuse it. And then looking down here, I got this pumpkin from my grandmother. She had it in her basement for many, many years. She used to use it. She doesn't use it no more, so she gave it to me a couple years ago. And these are all the pumpkins that I grew out of our garden this year. I have this little sign that says, "Welcome to our farm." And then I have these hydrangea bushes here, and I just took off the dead tops and just stuffed them down here into this planter right here, and I just called it good. My kids like to rearrange these pumpkins all the time, so just a cute little area whenever you're walking up into our house. So looking over here, same with these pumpkins. I grew all of these pumpkins this year. We took some old vintage gas cans, like this was probably 8 years ago. My husband torched out all of these faces for me and just absolutely love it. I put in some candles in here at night, or battery operated lights, and light it up at night. And then my aunt gave me this huge mum this year. It was so beautiful. It's actually starting to die off a little bit right now, but it's huge. Like, this concrete planter is absolutely huge, so you can just imagine how big this mum is. So I might actually need to replace that, but I might not. Who knows? I am going to take this mum and I'm going to plant it in the ground somewhere just to see if it comes back next year. So this is our skeleton. This is for my kids. They love to put the skeleton up every year. So I actually am on the hunt at a thrift store to find some overalls for him and a straw hat. I just haven't found any yet that's cheap enough in my price range, but one day I would like to dress him up next year. And then come over here. It's a little sunny over here, but my fern is actually still alive. And then I have this old like wagon wheel. It's metal. I don't know if you guys can hardly see it. And then I just placed some pumpkins that we grew right here. Just something simple. And this is, you know, it's still alive, so I'm just watering it still, and it's just hanging out there. So it's just a simple little porch this year. It's a little different from last year, but it's cute. So down here at the end of the driveway, I'm actually picking my kids up from the school bus. But these are the corn stalks that we grew this year, and it looks like the cows actually ate this one because their fence is like right by this post. So that one is completely gone, like no signs, like barely any signs that it was here. So that's a bummer. They already ate that one, which I kind of knew they would. But look how cute this little scarecrow is. We put him up every single year. This is actually my grandfather's shirt. He passed away like 7 years ago, and I put this on this scarecrow every year in memory of him. And this is a fabric face out of kind of like this burlap that I made a long time ago. And then we just put some gloves on here, and this is like an old pair of overalls that doesn't fit my husband anymore. We just tied them at the very end down there. And I got these little pumpkin yard stakes from Walmart a couple years ago, so I thought it would be perfect to put by him. This hat is actually falling apart. I'm gonna have to sew it back, but I'm just trying to get through this year. But yeah, this is really cute. This is what we put up every single year as a family. The kids love this time of year to put the scarecrow up. Well guys, thank you guys so much for coming along and looking at my Halloween decorations this year. And I know it's almost the same as last year, but you know what? Trying to save money this year and last year, can't beat that. So don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, comment down below, and we will see you guys on the next video.